5 reasons why you should stop hanging around graveyards.
In 1656, Croatia, a peasant named Draugr dies and is buried. A few weeks later, villagers report seeing him walking at night, knocking on the doors of his former neighbors. When his body was exhumed 16 years later, it was still intact. Draugr is considered the first documented vampire in Western history. But long before Europe named its vampires, other civilizations were already telling stories of the dead that the earth itself refused to keep. Today, we're exploring 5 types of undead from authentic folklore. No debunking, no judgment, just the legends as they exist in the cultures that created them. Number 1. The legendary Jiangshi. In Chinese, Jiangshi literally means rigid corpse. It's an undead being that can't walk normally because of its rigor mortis. So it moves by hopping, with its arms stretched out in front to keep its balance. The first written records date back to the Qing dynasty, between 1789 and 1798. A scholar named Xiaolan compiled accounts in a work called Notes from the Cottage of Careful Examination. But the myth is probably much older. So where could this strange legend of hopping corpses come from? One explanation points to a real funeral practice. In ancient China, when someone died far from home, their family wanted to bring them back to their home village for a proper burial. But transportation was expensive. So, they hired Taoist priests who specialized in this, called corpse conductors. They would tie several bodies to bamboo poles and carry them at night. The bearers walked in unison, and the flexible bamboo created a bouncing effect. From a distance, in the darkness, it would have looked like the corpses were hopping on their own. According to the texts, a Jiangshi has greenish or whitish blue skin in a state of decay. It often wears the official uniform of the Qing dynasty. Its nails and hair continue to grow after death. It is stiff, arms outstretched, and moves only by hopping. So, how does one become a Jiangshi? According to folklore, there are several ways. A violent death, like drowning or hanging. An improper or delayed burial. A corpse struck by lightning. Or even an animal, especially a cat, jumping over the body. The Jiangshi isn't intelligent. It seems weak and slow. But don't underestimate it, because it's an instinctive creature that absorbs qi, the vital energy from the living. Not necessarily through blood, but by inhaling their life force. It detects its victims by hearing them breathe, and it has superhuman strength. How do you protect yourself, according to the legends? Placing a Taoist talisman on its forehead paralyzes it instantly. Mirrors make it flee. Apparently, it's afraid of its own reflection. Peach wood is sacred and repels it. And the rooster's crow at dawn will send it running. But the fastest and most effective way to get rid of a Jiangshi is cremation. The Jiangshi became a cult figure in Hong Kong cinema in the 80s and 90s, especially with the movie Mr. Vampire. Moving on to number 2 on our list, the Vetala. The Vetala is a spirit that possesses corpses, often found hanging in trees in cemeteries. Unlike the Jiangshi, the Vetala is intelligent, cunning, and devious. It loves to pose riddles. Stories of the Vetala appear in a collection of tales compiled in the 11th century, based on much older oral accounts. The best-known version is called the 25 Tales of the Vetala. In these tales, a legendary king must capture a Vetala for a sorcerer. Each time he seizes the possessed corpse, the Vetala tells him a story that always ends with a riddle. If the king knows the answer but stays silent, his head will explode. But if he answers, the Vetala escapes and returns to its tree. The Vetala isn't the corpse itself. It's a spirit that temporarily inhabits a dead body. It can enter and exit at will. It possesses knowledge of the past, present, and future, and understands human nature deeply. That's why its riddles are so complex. They deal with morality, justice, and human relationships. And that's not all. A Vetala can drive people mad, target children, cause miscarriages, and torment the living just for fun. But it can also protect villages if it is respected. Fortunately, there are sacred mantras you can recite to repel it, and proper funeral rites can help the spirit find peace. Next up, number 3. The Draugr of Scandinavia. The Draugr, in Icelandic sagas, is a dead warrior who refuses to leave this world. He stays in his burial mound, jealously guarding his treasure and terrifying anyone who comes near. The Draugr appear in sagas written in the 13th and 14th centuries. One of the most famous is Gjallamar from the Grettis saga. Gjallamar was an arrogant shepherd who ignored traditions. One night, he confronts an evil spirit terrorizing the region. He drives it away, but dies in the battle. Having not received a proper burial, Gjallamar returns as a Draugr. He becomes so powerful that he destroys houses with his bare hands and kills men. The hero Grettir finally confronts him in a brutal nighttime fight. Just before dying, Gjallamar curses him, and the curse comes true. Grettir ends his life as an outlaw, haunted by the eyes of the Draugr forever. A Draugr is described as swollen and dark or bluish. It has superhuman strength, can swell up during combat, and can transform into an animal or mist. It can even control the weather, and if a Draugr kills you, you become one too. To get rid of one, you had to decapitate it, burn the body, and scatter the ashes at sea. Now for number 4, the Strigoi. This is the creature that directly inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula. But in authentic Romanian folklore, the Strigoi is quite different from the romantic vampire, you know. The word comes from the Latin strix, a nocturnal bird of ill omen. There are 2 types, the living Strigoi, who are basically sorcerers, and the dead Strigoi, the reanimated corpse that returns from the grave to drink blood or absorb vital energy. According to legend, you could become a Strigoi by being the 7th child of the same sex in a family, being born with a call, or leading a sinful life. A dead Strigoi's body doesn't decompose. It stays intact, sometimes swollen, with blood near its mouth. Its powers are what you'd expect, transforming into animals, invisibility, and superhuman strength. The best protection, garlic, and lots of it. Crosses painted on doors also helped. To destroy one, the traditional method was intense. It involved exhuming the body, removing the heart, driving a stake through the forehead, and placing a garlic clove under the tongue, among other things. And finally, a lesser-known but fascinating case, the Cihuatateo of Mexico. The Cihuatateo were women who transformed into warrior demons after dying in childbirth. In Aztec culture, childbirth was considered a battle, and these women were honored as warriors fallen in combat. They were said to guide the sun from noon until sunset. But on certain days, they would descend to earth. They haunted crossroads, where they would steal children, cause seizures, and drive people mad. They were depicted with skeletal faces and eagle talons for hands and feet. What's truly unique is that after a woman died in childbirth, her body was considered magically powerful. Warriors would try to steal parts of it, like a finger or hair, believing these relics would make them brave and blind their enemies. These women aren't monsters out of malice, but honored warriors seeking to complete what they couldn't in life. 5 civilizations, 5 different ways to imagine the dead rising, from the hopping Jiangshi to the warrior Cihuatateo. These legends reflect the deepest fears and values of the societies that created them.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.